Welcome to the Movie Talk Show with Dave D.C. Callari from DC Unboxed and from the Screenwriter's Room, the screenwriter himself, Rob Alvarenga. Now, here is your host, Joe Zapata.
Right, Thundercats. Ho! What's up, guys? I'm Joe Zapata here with the team, Dave D.C. Callari and the screenwriter Rob Alvarenga. What's up, guys?
I don't see any hoes anywhere. What are you talking about?
Very good, very good. Well, we got a lot of things to talk about this week, and of course, that Daredevil finale that happened. We're going to talk about that. But the first thing, let's get started, is I did not realize this, but in 1945, Casper the Friendly Ghost was the first appearance. Did you guys know that? 1945.
45? No way.
1945 was the first appearance by Casper the Friendly Ghost. And I remember that show growing up in the 70s. I remember it always on, and they've done a lot of movies. Well, apparently now, Steven Spielberg is going to do a darker version of Casper the, I guess he won't be too friendly ghost now, but it is going to be happening. Dave, did you hear it? Did you like anything with Casper the Friendly Ghost at all? Did you remember that cartoon? Anything? And is this kind of interest you at all?
This does not interest me even in the slightest. I don't even know why. Why are we doing a dark Casper? Like,
I don't know.
He's already a dead kid. Like, that's kind of dark enough. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
Isn't he like a dead boy who fell down a well or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
It's already dark enough. I don't think we need to, we don't need to go down the more occult reference route with this thing. But if Spielberg's attached, I mean, it could be interesting, but I will hold off judgment until I see Disclosure Day.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go to Rob. I'm going to go to you. There's a Casper the Friendly Ghost coming. I know you're the horror guy, so maybe you'll like this a little bit more, but Steven Spielberg's going to be behind it. You interested?
Sort of. Yeah, I don't think me being a horror guy is going to save what I think about this, because I'm with you. I mean, I remember the cartoon. I remember more the 1995 movie with very young Christina Ricci. Yeah, and I thought that movie was made perfectly for Casper. For that character. It was lighthearted, with a little touch up, like some seriousness, a lot of heartfelt stuff. And then, anyone that was a really fan of that movie remembers at the end where he actually, for 1, hour or whatever, he's like a real boy and, tries to, he dances with Christina Ricci at the end. Very sweet, loving, perfect movie setup for that character. I'm reading this is going to be in the style of the New Wednesday of Netflix.
Okay.
And I don't know how to feel about that because it's in the title, Casper the Friendly Ghost. So, dark. I mean, what are we talking about here? Because are you gonna make him look scary? I mean, I don't know. I guess I need more information, but it just feels like really weird. It's a weird matchup. I could be surprised. I could, because Wednesday was a surprise with the direction they took. So maybe they have something up their sleeves with this, but I don't know. I need to see more because right now it doesn't seem like it fits.
Yeah, I have no interest in, but I thought it was interesting. It's been around since 1945. I remember kids when the Halloween costumes, I grew up in a time when our Halloween costumes were the plastic rubber band over the eyes and that you would cut yourself and bleed. I grew up in that, and I remember people wearing the Casper the Friendly Ghost. Kids, I've had kids in my class, growing up in this, late 70s, whatever. So it's been around a long time, 1945.
Let's not forget that Dan Aykroyd dressed as the Ghostbuster cameo in Casper movie 2.
I was hoping you brought that up because that was awesome.
Yeah, so I have no interest in it. I'm surprised Spielberg is behind it, so we'll wait and see. But staying on the horror aspect, there's another horror movie that they're going to do, and I remember 1999, it got a lot of play. Everyone was saying it's one of the greatest horror movies of all time, was the Blair Witch Project. And I was like, oh, okay, it's Blair Witch Project. But now they're doing the original people are involved now. They're going to be doing this now in a whole new Blair Witch thing. Rob, you're the the horror guy. What do you think about the Blair Witch then remake?
I don't know. It's like it's I wish I had a more of a definitive, more positive spin on this because um, I I can't say this is gonna be a surprise maybe to some people. The original Blair Witch Project, I'm actually not all that a fan of. I think that was actually one of the greatest marketing ploys ever for a film because I mean people I don't people of a certain age remember there was it was so like not controversial they were trying to figure out whether this thing was real or not, like if
Yes.
these kids actually died, was this a documentary, what's going on here? And that was kind of part of the pitch and why people just rushed to the theaters to see this thing because it was just such a unique way to present a movie, a found footage one, at that, the one that really kicked it off for the
Hmm.
entire genre. So it was more of a phenomena than really like a classic horror movie.
Hmm.
Because I remember when I first watched the Blair Witch Project, I got dizzy. I had motion sickness. I was just like, Stop moving the camera. It's too much." And
Gay.
I mean, whew. And I think the last the iconic image, which is at the end of the movie, I have to admit that's actually was really good. It left you with like a little real creep factor to it. But is the fact that they were pitching it as like the greatest horror experience ever, because you've never seen anything like this before. That's really what it was. It was just a great way. It just it was a perfect opportunity for somebody to present something brand new that no one's really ever seen before. And whoever was behind the marketing behind that movie originally is what really made that movie a classic, to be honest.
Hmm.
Now I'm reading that they're going to reintroduce this to a new generation. What does that mean? Are we going back to found footage, or are we going to try what the other two sequels to the original movie tried, which actually tried to make a full feature story to it? And both of them sucked bad.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I'm really, really like not sure like how what their play is for this.
Hmm.
But it's the original Blair Witch Project was literally lightning in a bottle. I don't know how you reintroduce something that was so unique.
Yep. It cost 60,000 to make the first one, and it made $248 million worldwide. So pretty successful. Dave, are you interested in the Blair Witch? Did you like it? Did you enjoy the first one?
I think you misplaced the decimal point. I thought the first one cost $60.
It looked like it.
Yeah, it did.
I really like the Blair Witch Project. Not
Oh,
even
really?
being a horror guy, I thought it was perfectly done. It also hit at the right time where like the internet was a thing, but you couldn't just like Google, "Hey, is the Blair Witch Project real?" Like people thought it was real. I remember going on, I think it was opening night. We went to a bunch of different theaters. A lot of them were sold out. I ended up seeing it in Hawthorne on Lafayette Ave. And
Okay.
we're sitting pretty close because that's all that was left. And as they're running through the house, spoilers, as they're running through the house at the end, there's two girls sitting in front of us, and they are hysterically crying. They were so scared.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Really?
But like I was actually terrified. I'm like, this is scary. Like I don't want to see what's at the bottom of these stairs. And then we did. I'm like, And I just think it was perfectly done. I understand why they took a swing to try to give it some lore and do like some actual features on it. I just also understand why it didn't work. And Rob's right. It's lightning in the bottle. You can redo it. I think you can redo it. I don't think it makes sense to do it found footage again because I don't care what you do. I just don't see how it's not going to be like the original at all.
No.
So if you want to turn it into a feature film, like we're actually watching a movie about it in some way, almost Tropic Thunder it, but don't make it funny. I think that might be interesting. I don't know. Just why are we going back to the well?
Every time we always go back to the well.
When you have things like barbarians and weapons and even things like Terrifier, like you have some fresh-ish ideas coming out horror-wise, just let those guys keep doing it.
100%, So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's going to be coming out. They're going to be doing it. The original cast is supposed to be involved. So we'll wait and see.
Even the new Resident Evil looks way better.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
So it's like, like good things can hopefully be done. I would probably check this out but I just can't. I would be absolutely shocked if it was anything more than just fine.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I gotta add that too. I think, because I think Dave is kind of hinting at it. For me personally, the last year and a half has sort of been like a renaissance for horror films. Like we've got some really good horror and really original ideas. So that's why I guess maybe that's part of the reason why I feel the way it is. Like Blair Witch Project, it's like, come on, we're at such a good roll right now. I
Mhm.
mean, let's not dive into something that's just like long gone.
Mhm. 100%. All right, guys. Well, as we go on our next topic, one of the greatest stories I used to always love as a kid was NeverEnding Story. I love that. I love watching that show. I always watched it all the time. Great movie. And now Seesaw Films said that they are going to be doing a multi-film. I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 of the NeverEnding Story. Dave, did you enjoy the NeverEnding Story? And are you interested in seeing a now newer version of this? Now, I don't know if it's a remake or if they're going to be rebooting. I don't know what it is, but a never-ending story series is coming. What do you think, Dave?
Why are they going to sully my childhood?
What do you think?
I feel like for the most part, there's a lot of people I would talk to. I'm like, do you remember the never ending story? I'm like, no. You don't remember the Rock Eater and the Nothing? Like an existential crisis at 7 years old. What are we doing? Atreyu and Artax in the sadness or whatever. Oh my God. Jarring. Even to this day, I wouldn't want to, like, if I watch that right now, I'm like, I'm just going to fast forward through this. It was such, I think it was such a quirky movie, even with like, Falcor, the Luck Dragon. I haven't seen it in so long. I don't know if it holds up to what I remember it being. I kind of feel like it would.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's the audience for something like that nowadays. I just don't. I don't like. I know that we're going back to the beginning with Hunger Games, and it's not like that's not fantasy, but I don't know. I just feel like it's just not going to be any good. The best thing we got from NeverEnding Story since it came out was Dustin from Stranger Things singing the song.
That song is money. That song is money, man. I love that song. Rob, NeverEnding Story fan. I know you are. What did you think about it?
I am a huge fan of that movie. And yeah, to Dave's point, there's some scenes in that movie that have forever scarred me. So especially that Artax, just oh my God. For what I understand, for what I think what I'm reading into this is that this is actually going to be feeling a little bit more like they're gonna base it more on the book.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not, there's a book. So, and it's like it's a lot more detailed than what we got in the movie. So, for what I think this is kind of like going along lines with like the new Harry Potter. It's like they want to base it more on the source material, which is cool. But I don't know. I think because the narrative story is so old, I don't think it's gonna like affect too much like the fan base for it because the fan base is of a certain age. So they're not gonna be. They might be open to it. It's not gonna like sully what the experience was of that movie. But with this new film series, it's seeing as a series, it's gonna be a lot more detailed, and they're gonna just dive more right into the lore of what that of the book offered. So could be good. I mean, I've read a lot of the book, and there's a lot that just wasn't covered in the movie, the original movie. So I mean, I'm interested. I'm interested to see if they could really bring more of that magic of that fantasy world to life. So,
Yeah. 100%.
I got some decently high hopes for this thing.
Yeah, I recently saw, and I don't know, have you seen the guys who played Treyu today? What they look like? I don't know if you've
No.
seen them. I mean, I don't know what happened to them, but they don't look too healthy. Let's put it that way.
Oh, he was a teenager at the very least 40 years ago. I would expect him,
Yes, exactly.
He's
But
at least 60 now, right? He's got to be.
yeah, I think he might even be like almost 70. Like but he just didn't look. He had like tattoos all over him. Like it didn't look like a Treyu that we remember. But we all grow up. But like I said, I love that was one of my favorite movies as a child. I could go back to that anytime, and I just love it. Brings back some great memories.
If Jared Leto wasn't a pedophile, we could get him to play Atreyu.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's great.
Nowadays nothing would be aura farming. That's what we would be doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Total. Oh wow. So, wow. We've gotten here that we're using oral farming.
Yep.
That's great.
That's why I don't have any high hopes for this thing at all.
No, well, we'll wait and see. But now something I do actually looking forward to is finally, I mean, look, we want to get that Voltron movie. We got to get some information about that eventually. I hope they show something of Voltron. But besides Voltron, Thundercats, ho! So they are doing now a Thundercats movie. It's in works, and Adam Wingard, who did Godzilla vs. Kong, is actually behind it. And he actually said, it's in production. We're working on it. We got everything set. We still haven't picked the actors, but it is coming. So, Rob, I'll start with you. You're a huge Thundercats fan, and what do you think about this?
I am heartbroken because this is the project. This is the franchise that has been my lifelong dream to actually write.
Oh,
So-
wow. Okay.
So I was kind of hoping that they hold off on that, but I knew the end was coming once Masters of the Universe appeared. I'm just like, it was only a matter of time before Thundercats was going to be in production, because I think they know that Masters of the Universe is going to do well. And there's definitely a market and a fan base waiting for this. So heartbroken as it is, but I'm glad it's coming to theaters, because the Thundercats story, the entire cartoon, that whole world deserves a full cinema release. It's made for the theaters, that storyline. So my hope is that this is they don't try to just cram the entire thing into one movie. Give it, obviously make it the best movie version of the Thundercats that you can. But I'm hoping that this thing is going to be at least a sequel or two, because there's just so many storylines on Thundercats. That's why I love it, because it's the ultimate coming of age story, with Lionel being the once and future Lord of the Thundercats, and just the worlds that they travel, the adventures they've got, and just basically what he experiences as he becomes the leader, the true leader that the Thundercats hope and know that he will become. It's just awesome. I love that cartoon, and I just hope that it's good. I mean, the Godzilla versus Kong, I know it's gonna have good action, because that movie has plenty, and it's a lot of big sets, action pieces there that was in it. So I know that the action part is gonna be great. I just hope they really take good care of the story behind Thundercats, and and make it and show the reason why it was such a popular cartoon when it came out.
Yep, and it's Warner Brothers is going to be doing it. So, Dave, what do you think? Thundercats movie ready to go?
I'm hyped. Not hyped that Warner Brothers is going to do it, though.
Yeah. No, well, that's true. Warner Brothers, but they're behind it. At least we have a big studio behind it.
I'm surprised it's taken so long. Same thing with Voltron.
Yeah, what's going on?
We got 40,000 Transformers movies and not a single Voltron. What's going on? We got the terrible Cats movie, the Broadway show or whatever.
Yep.
We don't get Thundercats. What's going on here?
Yep, 100%.
If casting happened in a vacuum, for some reason I want Charles S. Dutton as Panthro.
Is he still around?
No, that's the thing. If it happened in a vacuum, I would be like, this would be great. That's the only thing I can that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's the premise in and of itself. If you remember the cartoon, and the cartoon kind of holds up. I've gone back and watched it. Intro is amazing. Intro is amazing.
That's
the
all.
bad guys are actually terrifying for an animated show. This sucker has potential. I think we'll know what is possible after we see Masters of the Universe. But again, the writing has to be good. The casting can be okay. You could get unknowns. You can, because it's either going to be a lot of CGI or a lot of makeup or a mixture of both. It just, you have to, as long as we don't get Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles, I think we'll be okay.
100%. And it's funny, I got a couple of questions that came in about the casting, because they saw my IG post about Thundercats, and it was, we'll bring them up later, but people want The Rock to be Panthro.
Oh goodness!
But of course, that's one of the ones that are like, hey, The Rock. I'm like, because I got a couple emails about that. I'm like, I don't know. Well, maybe we'll see.
Now, I do hope that they stick to the 80s cartoon version, not the 2011 one. Not saying the 2011 one was all that. I actually liked it. I enjoyed it, but the real true Thundercat fans are going to want the 80s version of it. So hopefully they don't try to mush it together, stick to the source material, and they'll do fine.
Yeah, 100%. Especially just Lionel with that sword, Thunder. You get your chills as a kid.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And then we get that sword. It'll be up on on Big Bad Toy Store for replicas. Will be soon. So we'll see what happens.
Pre-orders.
Yeah, the pre-orders will be up, right? All right, guys. All right. So finally, our last one was the Daredevil finale actually happened. And I got to say, I enjoyed this season much better than the first season, but it was absolutely great. And I didn't realize this until I found out that Tony Soprano Jr., Buck wasn't going to kill him. They actually filmed that he didn't die.
Really?
But and they CGI'd him actually shooting him. That was actually, went back. I didn't know that, but apparently he wasn't going to die, but they did change their mind and said he's going to die. And I thought it was better for the story anyway. I love this episode, the finale. I thought they did a great job. My favorite part was actually when Kingpin was in the, and spoilers, guys, if you didn't see it, when Kingpin was in, on court and Matt was in the judge's chambers and he's whispering and he knows Matt can hear him. I mean, what a great scene. I love that scene. Really great. Obviously, the fighting, we got to see a little snippet of Luke Cage at the end and everything. I thought it was excellent. Great way to finish it off. Rob, what did you think about this episode, the finale?
This episode was heavy. I mean, it was in a lot of ways the ultimate Daredevil versus Kingpin battle. It started out in the courtroom in Matt's world, and then it quickly morphed into the Kingpin's world, where they literally had to fight for their lives inside the very courthouse that they finally get Kingpin convicted in. So it was just a lot. First of all, I mean, the mental and the physical battle between these two characters it was immense. The entire episode was just tense. You were just wondering which one was really gonna snap, because I think they were both at their end. They knew that this is in a lot of ways, this is their final battle. This is it. He even said in the episode, this is it for both of them. And they knew it. They knew the end was coming. And they did not disappoint, with each other. If this is the last time we see Kingpin in a long time, this is an awesome send-off for that character, because that dude went ballistic. Like when he said, open the door for the oncoming crowd that was there to first protest. And then they're like, screw this guy. And they just go after him. This guy mowed down so many people. I mean, only the Kingpin can kill about 23 New Yorkers and then get away with it by going on a long vacation at the end. Yeah, I mean, awesome stuff. I love how they keep the continuity right with Daredevil hurt. This guy suits up and he's fighting along with Jessica Jones, and he's literally fighting on one leg. I mean, that whole scene, that again, another hallway scene with him and Jessica Jones, with him jumping over the top, and Jessica Jones just basically just throwing another agent ragdoll style. I mean, just awesome. And amazingly, they literally tied everything together. Some of it was a little too convenient as far as the way they tied it up, but I'm talking about BB. Her moment finally came where she literally rebuked the last ditch effort by Fisk to basically get the whole city behind him, and she wrecks that whole thing, and everybody just literally just picks the side of Daredevil. So I mean, awesome stuff. Every single character is paid attention to just enough. We finally got a little preview to Lady Muse, because we kind of all knew this was coming. And man, I mean, I think it's and the last thing, I guess the last thought I had was that, now we know for certain that Daredevil is definitely going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, because Spider-Man's in a jail fighting those ninjas. So guess where Matt is right now. So overall, I mean, it was great. It was a great way to end season 2 and give you just enough to be like, you know what, come back for season 3.
Okay. Dave, you saw the finale. What did you think of it? Did it meet your expectations?
So it did and it didn't.
Okay.
On the whole, it was really good. I think 8 episodes for a show of this caliber with the writing, I think is too short. I think some of the story bits could have been fleshed out a little bit more. Because all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's it. We're done. Now I get it. It's they are kind of vehicles. I would be remiss to think that we're not going to get some carryover into Punisher next week. And I saw something on Instagram today where that guy Brandon Davis was asking Charlie Cox. He's like, Charlie, I got to get this out of the way. So we leave Daredevil at the end of season 2 in jail. And in the Spider-Man trailer, Spider-Man's fighting people in jail. Yeah, what are we doing? He's like, oh my God, I'm not in Spider-Man. I'm not in Spider-Man. And then D'Onofrio's like, he said something, and Charles like, it's a lose-lose situation because the more I say it, the more people will be like, well, that's what someone who's in Spider-Man would say.
Yep.
So, do I think he's in there? I mean, I kind of do. If he's not, okay, but like, get this guy on the big screen.
Yeah,
like that. The scene in the courtroom when he has his I am Iron Man moment, and he's like, I'm Daredevil, and he throws the baton against the wall and catches it. And finally, after a decade of trying to fight Fisk at like his own game, he brings him down in court to be like, everyone, like, this is how you orchestrate it. And like Karen starts crying and people are clapping. I audibly said watching the show, like, oh shit, like this was great. Yeah, then Kingpin kills a bunch of people, and he's living the Vita Loca somewhere, like untouched, which is crazy. And Matt's in prison, Matt's in jail.
Yeah,
like, I get why we have to get there, but there's some bits that just don't really like land for me. But it doesn't mean that it wasn't good. I just feel like there's in a show where we have to suspend disbelief that a blind man could be a superhero. I guess we have to continue to suspend disbelief that he gets sent to jail and Wilson Fisk is sunning himself on the beach.
Island. Yeah. Makes no sense at all. That was one of the things too.
It was very good.
Yep.
It could have been better, but it also was not bad. Like, I wasn't disappointed.
Well, I mean, so why was Matt put in jail? Because of all the things he did as Daredevil, killing people or beating people up?
Like, he never killed anybody. That's
right. Yeah. He just beat people up.
So unless they're talking about, so this is where you could start to like dive in and pick it apart. So if they're going off some of the anti-vigilante initiatives or whatever, the Safer Streets New York initiatives, and that being the law, okay, fine. But the minute the judges rule in Matt's favor, saying like Kingpin's orchestrating this thing, all that stuff should be thrown out the window, and Matt should be able to go free.
Yes, 100%.
We know he's never killed anybody outside of Nobu in season 2, as far as I know.
Yep. I mean, and then Kingpin opened the door and he's breaking people's backs against people.
Sick, though.
So you're like, granted, you could probably get away saying it was self-defense because you got a mob of people coming at you, maybe. I don't know. But still, I don't know why he's on an island. Matt is in jail. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, like, yeah, because that's one thing. And I'm going to agree with Dave on this part here. This whole, once the jig was up for Kingpin, the whole attorney, general calling him and giving him a deal, sweetheart deal to I just want you to resign and then you could just go free. I'm like, this guy literally murdered people. You just let him go like that? That part was wild. And then the fact that he kept calling back the attorney general. It's like, come on, one more chance. No. And then self-defense. Yes, self-defense. Yeah, he gets an opportunity to crush somebody's skull, basically snap somebody's neck. I mean, sure, self-defense, but I mean,
that's what I was saying. Why is he free? It doesn't make
wild. And while that actually, they were like, that part was like a little like shaky for me because I get it. You want to get this guy to relinquish his mayoral powers, but still, it's just like, well, you're just doing this because you want it clean legally to kick him out. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Yeah. That was pretty wild to me.
I was going to ask both of you guys. Charlie Cox, he was in no way home, so I think they're going to finish him off in Brand New Day. I think it just makes sense to me. I think he's going to be in it. But I wanted to ask you guys. There's another season coming. There's one more season coming. Obviously, the Defenders are probably going to be in it a lot more now. We saw.
I wasn't even talking about Luke Cage. Luke Cage just shows up at the end.
Yeah, and of course, with Bullseye replacing him, which was pretty interesting. Yes. But I wanted to ask you guys. Matt gives his identity, says he's Daredevil. Once you take that genie out of the bottle, you can't put it back in unless Doctor Strange, who lives up the
Doctor
block,
Strange it.
unless you Doctor Strange it or something. So did you guys think that was good? Not that happened. He revealed that. I mean, it was the only way, I guess, to beat him. But what do you guys think? Rob?
I don't know. I don't know enough about the Daredevil comics to know if he's ever done that.
A couple times, yes, he has.
So there's, I don't know, like there's a couple of things. So I would not want to see a Daredevil Doctor Strange team up where he just does what he did in Spider-Man. I hate that. I hate that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Just having Matt be Daredevil. I mean, listen. Also, at the end, it doesn't really work. They say at the end of the day, most of the Marvel heroes we know, like Tony Stark was Iron Man and just ran his company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Captain America was just Captain America. You know, riding around on a motorcycle with his. So the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done an okay job of like everyone knows who everybody is for the most part.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't think this really works because you can't really, unless he goes to do something else and isn't a lawyer. So
yeah,
there's ways to write around it.
I don't know.
I don't think we didn't really get a lot of procedural stuff. We didn't get as much procedural stuff this season. We got no procedural stuff really this season as opposed to last season, and not nearly as much as we got in the Netflix show. So maybe they're just trying to phase that out. Like maybe he ends up being like what Cherry was to Kristen and him in that firm, and then he just ends up being like, the investigator or informant, or maybe he just hangs out with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage from now on. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think, Rob?
I think, I mean, I pay attention to some of these, to the lines that are written for, that are spoken in these shows, especially when it came to that, because when it was evident that he was going to reveal himself to end Kingpin's reign. I already started thinking about like, okay, exactly all these questions that we have, like, how is this going to work going forward? Because this is not going to be the end of Daredevil. We'll definitely have more Daredevil. So how is he going to move forward? So at the end, when Matt, basically is surrendering himself for arrest, and the guy starts reading his rights, and the guy goes, I'm waiving the statement, not the rights, and then he kind of smiles at Karen, saying, "I used to be a lawyer." So I think that kind of says it there. He's no longer a lawyer. He cannot be the blind lawyer of Hell's Kitchen anymore because it's a conflict of interest now. Now it's like he's damaged his entire career, or now he's officially Daredevil, and that's it. So that's the. In other words, it's kind of like the question that Peter Parker had in No Way Home: which life are you going to choose? Are you going to be Peter Parker, or are you going to be Spider-Man? Because you can't have both. Same exact thing, just made in a concise way for this episode, and he made his choice. In order to save New York, he chose to be Daredevil full time. So what does that mean? It means that he's going to be a broke vigilante. So that's really what it's going to end up being. It's the only way that it's going to work going forward. I don't see in this version how he could become a lawyer again, and not make it look forced. So again, it's part of the mystery of leading into season 3. Like, okay, this is the route he's chosen. Where do we go from here?
And I guess Lady Muse is going to be the new villain because Kingpin's kind of pushed out. I don't think we're going to see Kingpin for a while. I think he's going to be out. Maybe he'll show up somewhere else down the road, but I think he's done for a while. But yeah, I thought it was great, the episode. I thought the finale was great. Wait and see what happens. It's going to be interesting. What do you guys think of Bullseye? How are you going to pay off?
Keep bringing us Bullseye.
I wish he had taken out Powell.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. He needed more than just a gun whip to the neck.
Yeah, he had a good. I don't say he had an arc because he's still the same shitty Bullseye he was from the first episode. But I wish he had more. He had more to do at the end rather than just being like a plot device.
Yep.
Like he had the great scene in the diner, but didn't really do anything. And then he had the opportunity to do something really good here at the end. And yeah, I'm sure they'll definitely use him more because obviously he's going overseas with Matthew Lillard's character. But I just feel like he could have been used better.
Yeah. And then you had White Tiger, later Lady Tiger. When did she start? She started doing some flips and stuff in the middle of the hallway.
She started showing off some of her powers. I was kind of cool.
He had the amulet. She showed up. I was like, oh, here we go.
I'm like, wow, look at this, man. She's in some flips and everything. I'm like, wow, okay, pretty cool, man. Yeah. And then Buck was shot, so that was pretty interesting.
Bucky, I didn't see Bucky.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong Buck.
Wrong Buck. Yeah, I'll keep calling Bucky, but Buck was shot. Yeah, it was very interesting, But I did not know that he wasn't supposed to kill Gandolfini Jr. because they changed that last minute. They changed that.
Yeah, I think it played better. I liked how they gave BB her little, I don't want to say send off because she'll clearly be around. If they put her in Karen's old office, and like you feel that like that was good, and she had the picture of Gandolfini in there, and I was like, oh, that was really sweet.
Yeah.
Like it was a little bit of a payoff, even though, like I said, they could have punted her and like no one would have cared.
Yep, 100%. All right.
It did kind of do the thing it needed to do, and you do feel like he had a little bit of a change of heart and maybe some redemption. And I think Buck kind of did too, especially at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think they all kind of did. I think everyone kind of started to really see what Kingpin was going to turn the city into.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a shame that literally people had to die and things had to get torn down the way they did for it to happen. But
yeah, I don't know why, but I think Lady Muse, I think she's attractive. I don't know. I would date her.
She's crazy. We love crazy women.
We love crazy women, right? All right, so let's get some of the questions here. We got a couple here, and then we'll wrap it up here. All right, so first question is here, and this is one I was talking about before about the Thundercats. Someone sent me this, and Billy H from New York says, Joe, I saw your post on IG about Thundercats. Love the cartoon. How about Bradley Cooper as Lino and The Rock as Panthro? Money. What do you guys think?
Billy H, you're broke, bro. Those are not money castings. Those are terrible.
No.
Yeah, I can't say those are inspired castings at all. I mean, I get what you're thinking, but
No, that's what they sent me, and I was like, oh, okay, well, interesting ones.
I mean, did you see how The Rock looks for like the new live action Moana? I mean, this guy.
You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No,
bueno.
I'm saying, listen. Even if it was all CG characters, Charles S. Dutton still needs to be the voice as Panthro. Mm-hmm. You could make the case he was the actual voice of Panthro in the cartoon. Like if you go listen to both of them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bradley Cooper, he's just not. He's a little bit too old to be Lino. You would have to get like a Jamie Dornan guy to be Lino.
How about Henry Cavill? Henry Cavill Lino.
He would be good. He would be excellent, probably.
Yeah, I think he would actually probably would be the money casting right there.
But I feel like that's too much of the obvious choice.
Yeah, I know, right?
I wouldn't be mad if that's what happened.
Yeah, Henry Cavill. He's my leading man for everything. I don't know. He's
just cast him for everything.
He's the guy that I would pick because
he's in all our hearts.
Yep,
yes, he is. We love you, Henry.
All right. This next one here, Jeff T from Butler, New Jersey says, Dave, I see all the great Ghostbuster props popping up and fans make the best work. Who do you think is making the best proton packs and GB replicas around today? Hasbro is trash.
Wow. That hurts my feelings because all my stuff is Hasbro, dude.
Rough.
Off the shelf, it's pretty good. The problem is you have to put a lot of you don't even want to know the money I put into this one and then what's already sitting here waiting to go into the next one. Honestly, though, probably if you were just going off looks or like quality, probably Max Factory, because they're officially licensed by Sony, and even for Frozen Empire, Sony bought shells from Max Factory to build their proton packs.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So it's kind of this like full circle moment. So they bought some of the packs to build shells, and then they casted some of the Max Factory parts and so if you buy a Max Factory kit, he's got one that says like Legacy, so it's got some of the imperfection that you would have found on like an original pack casting, and then you have the idealized Frozen Empire, which is like brand new perfect. But even just the thrower kit, just for the wand, kit only, no electronics, no nothing, is $1,700.
Oof. Wow.
So if you were to buy all the parts from, I was going to have somebody called Rust City Studios do a Frozen Empire build, and he likes to use the Max Factory stuff, and I get it, use the best stuff. So just putting together the price list got me to like $3,500, and that wouldn't even have been including his $2,000 fee to build it and paint it and like do all this stuff. I was like, that's a lot. That's a lot of shekels, man.
That's a lot. I know that's a lot, man. But I mean, I do see fans do some of the best work. Like I see a lot of custom Star Wars figures that they do to make them look like the original Kenner figures, and they do look great. Some of them, you know. So, all right. This one is from Billy Y, and he says, Hillsdale, New Jersey. Rob, if you can write any comic book character from the big screen, who would you pick besides Spider-Man?
Besides Spider-Man. Oh man, this is gonna be well. That's the thing. It's like all my favorite ones were like really already put to screen. I will say this: there's one character that I have yet to see. They took a hint at it, but I'm like, this is such a cool character, and he's so rich in lore. And that's Beta Ray Bill. I thought that as a Thor fan, he's like an awesome like compliment character to it, but he has his own story. Like it's pretty awesome, actually. You know how he became like this Thor version, alien, and it's just something different with just enough stuff that you kind of like are familiar with, like the main continuity. So I really would like to see. I would love to write a Beta Ray Bill story because and really pay homage to the source material because the original story of how it became to be is pretty incredible.
Okay. All right. Last question here. John K from Paramus, New Jersey. He says, hi, Rob. I know you are a big Back to the Future fan. With all the recent remakes, I still think there's a shot for the Back to the Future remake. Yes or no?
Oh, man. You know what's sad? Yeah.
It may happen someday now with all this shit going on.
That's the thing. My hope is no, never. Don't do it because you only can mess this up. But I'd be a fool to think that at some point this is not going to happen. You know, this is like it's going to happen at some point. And, you know, hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully I'm not around when it happens, to be quite honest, because I would actually be really, really sad no matter what. I mean, it's just, I just feel like that's such a perfect movie. It's my favorite movie of all time. And I just don't see how you recapture that magic. So, you know, I'm sorry. The way Hollywood is right now and how movies being made, especially these remakes, I have little faith that they could actually do something that incredible again.
Yeah, yep, 100%. Dave, you think any remake or reboot now?
Don't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. It makes no sense unless you remade it in '85 again. But no one wants to do that because they did it better. Anytime you're going to make a remake like this and maybe do the same thing the original did, sit there and ask yourself, can I do a better Back to the Future movie than the original Back to the Future movie? If the answer is no, don't do it. Don't do it. What are you going to do? Have someone, let's say Bob Gale dies in 2035. What are you going to have someone go from 2035 to 2005? Oh, wow. Big culture shock, man. Like, it's so dumb. It doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid.
And honestly, just one last thing. Everybody, the movies that made us should go watch the Back to the Future one, just so you could see that movie had no business actually being made. There was so many wild things just to get that thing done. It's just it's proof positive of just how much lightning in the bottle that movie really is.
Yeah, because Michael J. Fox wasn't even supposed to be the original Marty. Supposed to be Eric Stoltz, and they filmed with him. Yeah, Eric Stoltz, and they filmed, but then they able to make it work, and they brought Michael J. Fox. So yeah, very great. All right, guys, another week, another great show. We will see you guys next week. Enjoy the night. You got it, guys.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron. Body builder coding. Beings on the course.